All you divine beings. I'll give it a few seconds to alert everyone. Welcome in to everyone. Everyone that's in here, comment what zodiac you are. This one is going to be very informative because of the things that's about to happen. So, give me a few seconds. Every time I go live, I get attacked spiritually. If y'all only knew what I go through. But yet, I keep going. Today is about knowing thyself, and depending on how far you are, I show you what your power is. That's being laying dormant in your DNA that you haven't been activating because you've been so distracted. But now these things are being forced online. Your DNA is being activated by the sun. The sun, how about this? God is the sun and the shield. Let's just say that. The shield that protects the earth and the sun that gives you light. That's one of the aspects of knowing what God is. Okay, let's see if anybody placed their zodiacs on here. We'll start with their zodiacs. Welcome, Johnny 5, TT Riz. What was that? Ken? Tati1 Prime. Welcome to you all. Okay. Since I didn't see any zodiacs, I guess I'm gonna wisp through this real quick. Okay, let's just start with the basics, because every time I give people the truth, they don't want the truth. Most people are entertained by mess that gets your attention more than the truth. Okay, let's talk mess. Although you don't have enough time, but this is what entertains you. Mess. So let's give you mess. Oh, there's aliens, right? You like aliens? Okay. Well, you like aliens so much. Well, let me talk to you in the way that a liar would talk to you. Although the lie is part truth, so you believe it. So therefore, you're about to see UFOs all over the earth. You know, you call them orbs. They're going to be in circular fashion. Some of them are going to be silver. Some of them are going to be moving fast. Some are going to be moving slow. You might call them balloons. Welcome to the world today. You like that? That's what you want to hear about, right? Before, if any citizen of the world would say anything aliens, you would be stupid. But now all of a sudden that the government is saying it, oh, it's true. I never can understand the people who, what makes me come online is I see people hurting. And they don't get responses from their family. Yet they're asking for family. So I, being the comforter, my only wish in the world when I was a child, this child, I said at a young age, because they taught me that in life you only get one true friend. So when I was this age, my reply was, well, if that's the case, why don't I just be a friend to everyone instead of searching for my one true friend? Why don't I be a true friend to everyone? So God answered that and said, well said. I tried to explain this to my family. And ever since then, I've been looked at as different. In the beginning, everyone said, this child's been here before. Yeah, many a times. So, in a world that's behind and I'm living in the future, it's hard. So now that the Gentiles have reached their fullness, they know time is up. Everyone in the world, from your Jews to your Christians to your Muslims, your government leaders, they all know that this is a time. It means something. Since you won't listen to who I am, and when I get on lives, I only give information here because I know how God works. There is no coincidences. The things that are for you, you would be here. For everyone else, I will come like a thief in the night. Because they will be doing as scriptures say. Fulfilling those scriptures, although everyone claims the scriptures is a lie. You'll be singing, dancing, trying to marry. You'll have cold hearts. Mothers turning against daughters. Fathers turning against sons. Sons turning against mothers, daughters turning against fathers. Your hearts run cold. Family is not the same. Your strangers on the street treat you better than the people you've been meeting since you were born. Yet you keep filling out the scriptures and you keep saying it's a lie. But yet all your governments is based on the 10 Commandments. All the things that you say is a lie. But the scriptures also say you die for lack of information. And here I am exposing everything. Weird. So, anyway, what you're going to see, let's talk about that. So you can go, how the fuck does he know that? Okay. In an atom, now that goes too deep. Sometimes I think I talk as if people know the things I know: quantum physics, science, polarities, atomic structures, infinite variables, oneness. If you guys understood as I did, you would need absolute intelligence, not artificial. But that's neither here nor there. So I'm talking to the earth angels. Those people I would like to refer to. There's electricity. I'm just talking the way you know. Let's just say that the atmosphere outside, the electric atmosphere that kept Atlantis running, kept the pyramids running, free energy, what Nikola Tesla was talking about, what Edgar Cayce was talking about, what Nostradamus is talking about, what people who've investigated know that there's free energy. All these people, okay, this is in the air now. Now, how would you notice this? Okay. When something that uses electricity receives too much electricity, it begins to flicker. Because of the energy, it's, let's say, a push and a pull. So your outside lights would flicker and things from above down. Now, why am I saying this? Because a lot of you are saying, looking in the skies in the daytime and the nighttime now, all around the world, and you're noticing these spears, and you're saying they're aliens. Well, why isn't your government scared? They're humans like you, right? So why aren't they going, oh, yeah, it's this, it's that. Why only you doing that? And while you're talking about there's UFOs, scientists are missing all around the world. And listening to the people of America, you say that they put it in your movies first. What happened in 2012? It's the end of the world, man. Look at it. Yeah, brother. What happened there? California had earthquakes. A man driving a limousine trying to get to his wife and kids. Scientists were missing, huh? Will Smith movie, I, Robot. AI comes out, right? And Will Smith has got this problem that thinks that AI is bad. Am I talking about movies or am I talking about what you're saying? Okay, now that we've got that out the way. What you're seeing that you think are Aliens. See, for the last 20 years, they have been having to adjust your computers, everything, because the electric variable that's in the sky. It's an electronic variable. And this variable is forcing satellites closer to the surface. You know, the satellites that used to be up there, they can't hang up there no more. So they got to come lower and detect the things that they used to detect. Their internet service is almost out. This is why you think time is speeding up, because your clocks is based on batteries too. And you're full of water. So you're based on that same electric frequency as well. So now that they're telling you there's all these sun rays, right? Gamma rays, X rays, and all of this. But when you were a kid, they told you that same shit turned David Brenner into the Incredible Hulk. I wonder why I'm saying that. And I wonder why in Texas and other parts of America, they're preparing you for a zombie apocalypse. Your government. But that's not crazy, is it? Then they prepared you for demon face syndrome. You know, when you're a sheep without a shepherd, you'll walk straight into the slaughter because you don't know what the hell is going on. But the one that does knows what's going on, just like the movies. He's never heard until the end. When the rocks are falling, when the satellites are falling, then they'll be like, where is that Negro Yakep Yael that was saying that shit? Has anyone seen him? But scripture says in that time, you'll be looking for the oil. And when you come looking for it, it'll be the women first. They'll start wanting men again because oil is the knowledge. And they'll want some of that knowledge. Because at that time, the 12 archangels would appear. Ariel, Shamiel, Zakel, Gabriel, Raziel, Me, Metatron, Jophiel, Jermiel, Raguel, Azrael, Uriel, and Sandraphon. But these are names you probably ain't even heard of. So yeah, your satellites are getting lower to the surface because they can't go out of the surface. So Elon's Musk, all these satellites, they're coming closer to the ground and you can see them. A lot of them are going to fall out of the air because the electricity can't keep them there. They'll lose their short circuit and they'll start falling to the ground. And they know this, so they're going to tell you they're alien aircraft. Like you can't read the handwriting on the things that are falling. So by that time, they're just going to cut the internet. See, Trump is trying to fight that. But you wouldn't understand that. Because anything that's different, you want to kill. But America, as you know it, is the true Garden of Eden. But you don't know it. You don't know it. You know, the funny thing to me is how so many people say that the Bible is not this and the Bible is not that. And then they influence people. But yet these people have never read the Bible completely. They'll lie to you if they do, because human nature, when you get something that repeats a pattern, you don't want to keep doing it because it lasts long. Your attention span isn't that long. So when you get to something like numbers and it starts to tell you genealogy, you know, you'll walk away from it. It's too long. You'll make excuses for not knowing something. So then they can take the things that you don't know and put it in a fucking movie or a book or TV show. And then only certain people can watch those shows and go, wait a minute, I think I know what they're talking about. While the rest of you are being entertained. You know, like Merlin. And, ooh, I like that. The Game of Thrones. Ooh, I like that. All these movies are talking about the people in America. I didn't stutter. You're X-Men. You're the mutants. But you don't want to know your power. You don't want your tears wiped away. Most of you have become Gentiles and don't even know what that means. You're still pointing fingers at one another. Oh, that's the white person. Oh, that's the black person. Oh, that's the dark-skinned person. I'm against all of them. While all of you are saying you were the first. And at the same time, all of you are saying we couldn't come from one man. What's the confusion here? Is it superiority making the confusion? Or is it lack of intelligence and clout chasing for likes? Wherever it may be, it begins with the birthright. See, in ancient Hebrew culture, why always Hebrew? Well, we got to study the Hebrew. We got to go study the Aleph, the Beth, but you don't get it. English is Hebrew. This is why you call it the alphabet. They don't throw away power. They disguise power. But if you don't have discernment, you won't see it. You'll just be entertained. Are you not entertained? For the truth, you can't handle the truth. But you love science fiction. So in ancient Hebrew culture, the birthright belongs to the firstborn son. There's a gift in that. It's a gift in the name. See, that son receives a double portion. And if these are the days of Noah, then we should go back to the first double portion. Joseph, Ephraim, and Manasseh. Since we're in a dualistic system, and yet we call it the third dimension, doesn't make sense, do it? Unless you exclude God and you exclude yourself, the viewer, then it's dualistic. They always take God out of everything, don't they? Yet, the person you called Christ, he said, you are God's. And you say he's never lied. Then if you are God's, you're dismissing yourself. And since you dismissed yourself, you're asking to be governed because you're not able to take care of yourself. You're not sovereign. See, Joseph was exchanged. It's a story, a parable, right? Just like your life is a parable. But you don't understand parable. The world is not linear. It doesn't move in a straight line. As above, so below. Things circle. So you must recognize patterns. And since the clue is the days of Noah, then you should start there. In the days of Noah, there was giants on the earth. In the days of Noah, when those giants were dying, their souls left their body in black mist. So they give you movies of the Slender Man. It's the same shit. Or they'll give you a movie with Whoopi Goldberg, a love story, where a man tries to speak to a medium. She's doing her tarot. And you see these shadow creatures that make sounds and take you down. What did Cain sleep with? What is a beast of the field? What's a skunk man? What's a Sasquatch? What is red and hairy all over? What are you not allowed to hunt in America's national parks? Why would they have a mythical creature in a national park that you can't hunt? And if the world is a carcass and we're living on it, that's a whole nother truth, right? That would be almost crazy. But everywhere you look, you see stones that was carved that look like giants. It's crazy, isn't it? It's almost as crazy as this. Let me show you something. Okay, here we go. Let me show you something. Now, when Noah got off the boat, there was two birds, right? There was one called the crow and the other the dove, right? That's part of the story of God, right? Let me just slide to the side and tell me what you see. How do birds mate? Do they get on the back of each other? Let's see, where my head is, there's a head of a bird, and right below that's a head of another bird, and right above that, there's a wing that's expanding over Greenland. Oh, tripping. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, tripping. See, when you bear the truth, it's hard to believe, but you rather believe fiction shit. Second, with the birthright, is family leadership. The right to become the head of the entire family, the estate upon the father's death. Third is spiritual lineage, the privilege of inheriting God's covenant promise to Abraham and leading the family spiritually. So the spirit of Esau decision, Esau despised his birthright. The spirit of Esau valued immediate physical gratification over his permanent spiritual inheritance. So you all have become Esau. You want the physical things instead of your inheritance, your land itself. And America's land is the richest of them all. But you rather have peace and security and let them take it all. A warning about this. Let me go to Hebrews 12 if you want to follow me. Go to Hebrews 12 or just listen. Because at the end of this, if you want to know how to receive your power and you want to take America back, it's very easy. It doesn't take weapons. It doesn't take fighting. It doesn't take pointing at one another. Arguing each other with your face color. Oh, he's white, he's black, he's brown, he's this. But God said he remembers the whole damn rainbow. Don't get blotted out for your ego. It's just a warning. Notice, I'm not asking you to believe anything. I'm just speaking the truth. And the truth is not for everyone. Hebrews 12, 16 and 17. What does this read? Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau. Wait a minute, God said he hated Esau, but which Esau is he referring to? Esau a person or Esau the spirit? For the spirit of Esau, see, first of all, most of you not have read the Bible. This is why you don't know I'm Metatron. And you don't even know who Metatron is, because you haven't read the Bible. So, Esau, since the Israelites like to go against the brother, that is a twin brother, Esau is a spirit. I wonder how many people in America, the so-called African Americans or the Negroes, I wonder how many of you are Esau, who's given up their inheritance to be an American. Because if you knew the truth of Esau and Jacob, let me tell you, because most of you haven't read. Okay, this is the story, right? And I'll tell you the truth of the story and show you how they entertain you in movies. You heard the movie 300? That was about Abraham and Esau. Abraham took 318 men with him to receive Lot. See, when Esau helped Abraham with Lot, he came home thirsty and hungry from a fight. They fought 4 kings. See, if you don't read, you're entertained, and then you go to the movie and don't realize, why do I like these movies? I feel connected to Storm. I feel connected to this because they're talking about you. Not the new skin you're in, but that is powering the suit that you're wearing. See, the ones that are from here, they stay here. They don't leave. But the 12 tribes, you reincarnate. So they remember you, and you fall into amnesia. And every reset, they know where the treasure was. But you don't get it. So let's talk about Esau. Esau came home, and his brother saw what he was wearing. What's that? Where you been? Man, never mind that, bro. Whoo, I'm tired. What's that? What's that smell? You got some lentil soup? Let me get some of that, bro. I'm tired. I'm famished. I'm parched. The brother had discernment. He says a parable. If you give me your inheritance, I'll give you some of this soup. Esau, not having the discernment or the understanding, for discernment lies with the children of God, for you are the word. But did you know thyself? The only way to do that is to get in the word. So what the story is, before that incident, before we get to the what you think was a betrayal or, oh, that is so wrong, and like the Jews think, who only want you to believe a certain thing. So time is not a straight line. So at the same time this was going on, Abraham was bringing Lot home. You see, there was a man by the name of Nimrod, the Mesopotamian king. Yeah. He was under rulership of the king Chedorlaomer. I think it's spelled Chedorlaomer. These were the four kings that Abraham, or the movie, the 300, those soldiers, the 300 that was going to fight that giant king, that was Nimrod and the rest of them. But they tell you they found Nimrod alive, whole, when his goddamn head was cut off. See, what happened was Abraham and 318 men, they went to find Lot. Abraham also used Esau. Esau went with Abraham, but Esau was the one who cut off Nimrod's head. Nimrod and two of his soldiers were with them, and they were asleep. Esau cut his head off in his sleep. And Esau took a garment that was on his back. That garment is the same garment that he came home with. That garment, Jacob knew exactly what it was. It was the same garment that later Rebekah put on Jacob to fool his father, Isaac. Rebekah kept that garment in her house. Now, why are we talking about this garment? Because the things throughout the Bible first belong to Adam. Adam had a staff. Aaron had it. Abraham had it. God made a garment of skin for Adam and Eve. This Noah had, Abraham had, Isaac and Jacob. They also had a sword. You call it Excalibur. All these stories come from the book you won't read, and because you don't read it, they entertain you with movies like hieroglyphs. They're just the movies of today. The question is, why do I tell you so much truth and the world is telling you that God is supposed to be here inside of a man? Why am everything I'm telling you, you already know? You just needed the scales to be removed from your eyes. See, if you would support me, supporting me is supporting yourself, because I will direct you to who you are and who your power is. But shame must come first. The shame of the 10 tribes, the 10 brothers that went against Joseph. The shame of hiding the garment of skin. The shame of hiding Aaron's rod. The shame of hiding the tablets. The shame of hiding the Ark of the Covenant. The shame of all the nations coming together to help Dan hide this. For all your religious leaders, all of them, for you're neither Greece nor Roman, for they began as Ethiopian. Dark skin, a skin that looked burnt, not mine, but Ethiopian. You ever seen a Pope bow down and kiss the feet of an African? You ever seen Britain give respect to something they call the Black Pope? There's a hidden hand that they talk about. That hand is Ethiopia. And still this day, in the lands of Africa, one man goes in, and when his time's up, another man goes in. This has been going on for a long time. See, this is the parable of the 10 brothers, the 10 tribes going against Joseph. This is Jacob's trouble. So when the 10 tribes came back and lied and said that Joseph was dead, they dipped the garment in goat's blood. Jacob, remembering the first deception, became heartbroken because he knew it was a sign to God. Just like your children are liars, so was your mother, Rebecca. Oh, forgive me, God. He becomes sick and tired. But the brothers ran into Joseph again. But Joseph had a different mind state than them. This is why he was chosen to lead them. He had a circumcised heart. With a circumcised heart, you can go through hell and come back and still love. So, he sent chariots and gifts with his brother. And at that same time, there was a Benjamite woman sitting at home singing a song. Your son is not dead, for he's the king of a land. And he recognized it. This is why they use music today, to reach your subconscious. Because he was hurt, so she used a song to relieve it to him. Because if they would have gave it to him direct, he probably would have fell down and died. So just like he blessed all the 12 brothers, he blessed her and said to her, you shall not see death. This Benjamite woman connected with Judah, and they became the South tribe. The other 10 went in unison against the scepter. All nations came together with those 10 tribes. You call them the Nephilim, the giants. See, they're not the same as they used to be. They changed size. You know, they went from Sasquatch to Neanderthal to giants to today. All you got to do is read DNA. So the spirit of Esau's decision, Esau despised his birthright. The spirit of Esau valued immediate physical gratification over his permanent spiritual inheritance. And I read to you 12, 16, and 17, which is a warning against godliness. What I'm trying to do is separate you. And once I do, we'll go to discard and do what we do privately. For my pearls are not meant for swine. See, God wants to wipe away your tears, but not the fake tears. There's fake tears and real tears. Today you call them clout chasing. Those that clout chase, they have fake tears. You know, fake tears is something like Meg the Stallion. Yes, he shot me right after I stepped on that glass in my feet. He shot me. I'm just a girl. Everybody's gonna believe me, right? Fake tears. Fake tears is weeping bitterly later after being exposed and feeling the regret for losing the benefits after being exposed. You better talk your shit, Rihanna. You're gonna lose your Revlon. You right, Oprah, you right. Chris Brown ain't shit. Fake tears, weeping bitterly later after being exposed and feeling the regret for losing benefits. This is not true repentance for despising God's gifts. See, the problem is no one's shame anymore. What happened to shame? It used to be shameful for a woman to talk like a man. It used to be shameful. A lot of things we do. What happened to it? Maybe that'll explain why we are the way we are today. You're barely raising your children. So if you keep looking the other way and say it doesn't affect me, how you know it's not affecting your children who's going the other way every day? They don't even teach your kids the same math and the same academics as you. They make it harder, longer for them, so it makes them look stupider. I wonder why. The problem is, you guys don't. You're being entertained. Romans 9:10-13. This is God's sovereign choice. Let's see what it says. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Do you get it now? God talks to the spirit. You see men. When God calls out children, he speaks of nations. For God's thoughts are higher than your thoughts. And because you can't understand them, you rather say that they're lies. What type of intelligence is that? Where you, the citizen, says it's a lie, but all the people that's running you keep those words alive. They store them up like it's money. They dig them up, archaeologists, everybody. But what do? Oh man, the J wasn't made until. So when was January? When was July? It's crazy. The things that people hold on to. You let the things that were taken, because the garments in the days of Noah, Ham took those. See, Ham, let's just say, what you think happened to Noah is not. If you want to know what happened to Noah, go over in the European areas and look at their statues, their pillars, and with the gargoyles and and the boy love and the butt worship. Then you will understand what happened to Noah that made his sons not want to see it and walk backwards and cover him up. You know, that was Ham's thing. Boy love. And Ham took the garments and stole them. And they ended up with Nimrod. And Esau recovered them. God uses people that you think he wouldn't. And he says everything in a parable for you to understand it. This was given to you when the people asked Christ, why do you talk the way you do? For I speak in parable because the word is not meant for everyone. Can't you see how the world is today? For they have dug up your word when you were running. This is how the word got out. This is how you got all the greats of them. None of their people would have been great without finding your works. These were the treasures. What we used to do, this type of stuff. This is called being a scribe. Writing down the new book, the new song, as you used to do. But my worth is worth what? Let me show you something else too that I'm seeing. I'm seeing all over TikTok that you're finally going through the deception that they wanted you to go through. Ronald Reagan planned this a long time ago. He called it Star Wars, the Star Wars program. Now, you've been watching so many movies that they know how to control you. When you buy the movies, they know what you like. So you like, dun, 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 Mission Impossible. Let me take my mask off. Oh, they do that? Oh, that's cool, man. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at look at that nigga on TV. Look. None of them saw it. None of those cameramen saw it. None of them. Nobody. No, not nobody. They didn't blur it out. Nothing. They got AI and all this stuff, but they didn't blur it out. Nothing. For you to see it. Anytime you find something they don't want you to see, it's conspiracy. But the things that they want you to see, they spread it with you. What happened to your discernment? Why are they doing this now? Because the ones with discernment, they're waking up. You're the Lucy's. You're the mutants. I don't know what to say to you. I don't even know if you want to learn. I really don't. So let me just wrap this up. Let me read something to you that should help you. The Garden of Eden, which is America. Everything started with the garment of skin. The garment of skin became the best garments. Then the best garments became the coat of many colors. It was originally made by God for Adam and Eve. You can see this in Genesis 3:21. Let me read this instead of just saying this, because I know a lot of people don't read. Genesis 3:21 says, unto Adam also and to his wife did the Lord God make coats of skins and clothe them. Okay, so now that's read. Rebekah gave Jacob, the son of Isaac, that garment. We'll see that in Genesis 27. Let's go there. I'm probably losing a lot of you at this time because your attention span. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see, he called Esau, his eldest son, and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here am I. And he said, behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out to the field and take me some venison. And make me savory meat such as I love, and to bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. If you know anything about pattern recognition at this time, oh, hold on. Oh, I noticed they seem to do that always when I look down. Okay. So instead of looking down, let me look up. This is a pattern. At the beginning, it was the same thing with Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel was asked to give up certain things. One gave up the right thing because he had discernment. Abel, he gave the best of the best of the best, and the other just gave. And make me savory meat such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spoke to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it. This is what they're arguing about in the East. For what you call Jews in Israel were 10 tribes chasing 2 tribes, Benjamin and Judah. Because the scepter was about to be in Judah's hands. Telling too much information. Been on here too long. All right, I see they always do this to me. That's why I go to Discord. But let me just tell you the chain of custody. I'm only doing this so you can believe who I am. Don't be caught late. Don't be the ones. It's like a thief in the night. I've been telling you the truth for the longest. I told you what's about to happen to America this year. In 2027, America will be rebuilt by all those tribes because it will be well known by that time who I am. I'm telling you things in advance for the last 20 years, and I haven't made a mistake yet. They only keep me on here and don't strike my account because they're watching me harder than you. They already know the truth. They got the records. Why you think all of a sudden the first pope is now in America and he comes from Louisiana, the same goddamn place where they killed Christ? Oh, you didn't know that. Chain of custody of the garments, okay? Adam to Enoch, to Methuselah, to Noah. Then you had the flood. Then Ham stole them from Noah. And it was passed to Cush. Cush gave them to Nimrod. Nimrod was one of the Mesopotamian kings. Abraham and 318 men gathered Esau, and they later murdered Nimrod. The king, by the way, Nimrod has several names, just like Moses has several names. They lived to be a lot of years. That's why you don't understand, but you didn't read the Bible. For when Moses got to Egypt, he came Imhotep. The pharaohs changed your name, like Meshach, Abednego, Shadrach. Those were not their first names. Your name is not your name. But your true name is hidden in your birth name. If you read the Bible, this hint would have been given to you a long time ago. But you claim you know the word, and you don't know the word at all. For if you knew the word, you would be exposing the people around you, not in hatred, in shame. Esau later murdered Nimrod, and his name was Amraphel. One of those kings. But you don't have the patience to read genealogy or numbers because it's boring to know thyself. And why should I? I don't need my birthright. Now do you see that you are Esau, and God hates that spirit, not the person. For you'll be singing, dancing, marrying, going to work, and complaining about your inheritance and how wrong it is, but you'll never do nothing about it. You don't support the truth because you don't want the truth. And you can't hear the truth if you're not part of the truth. See, you're living as if you're changing things. But God knew you before you were born and your destination. And if you forgot it, there's a Bible that survives fires here. As above, so below, so within, so without. This is why you have doubt. You don't understand. Rebekah kept them in her house, and then Rebekah gave them to Jacob, and Jacob gave them to his father's son, Joseph. Joseph spiritually heir and priest of the family. So Joseph, the 10 brothers, subsequently teared it off violently from his back. So that garment became into little pieces, and one of those pieces was in the sling and the leather of David that knocked out Goliath. But do you know this? Have you been following these garments? No, you haven't. You've just been receiving the stories. Never-ending story. La 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 la. Merlin the magician. La 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 la. Professor X. La 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 la. Highlander. Speaking of Donald Trump. For there shall be only one. Then you got books about Trump. Then you got on your dollar bill, Epstein. You don't have discernment, do you? Yet Christ spoke of reincarnation. The literal stripping of the garments was found in Genesis 32 and 23. This led heavily by the schemes of Simeon, Levi, and Judah. Second, the irony of the goat. Jacob used the skins of young goats to deceive his own father, Isaac, to steal the blessing. Now his own sons used the blood of the young goat to deceive Jacob into believing his favorite son is dead. Jacob weeps over it. This is the beginning of Jacob's trouble. Genesis 41 and 42. Joseph meets the Pharaoh, and the Pharaoh gives him a new name, Zaphanath Paneah. See, you don't know this. All their names kept changing. But this takes study. See, I don't have to do this. I have knowing. See, the sins fall upon the third and fourth generation. What does that mean? That means the things that your fathers couldn't handle. 3 and 4 generations later, there will be black sheep in the family, and it will be in their blood. They will have a knowing of the past with the answers to it. That's what that means. That's shadow work. Now that name is spelled Zaphenath-Paneah. That's the same name as Joseph. Now, why do I bring this up? Because you see the same thing happening today when you go into Hollywood. the first thing they want to give you is a chain with your name. This is sapphire. This is the sign of Metatron. Anywho, when you go to Hollywood, the first thing they want to give you is a gold chain. When a pharaoh picks an appointed apprentice, he gives him a chariot, the second best chariot that he got. He gives him the second best clothing in all the land. Then he gives them the sigil, the ring of dominance. They'll put it in movies like Lord of the Rings and all of this fine things. Give you the ring. So you have a herringbone, a chariot, a ring, and you go around. But he was different than all of them. He stood out, for his skin was like olive and almonds. And the Pharaoh's very wife was turned on by that. And when you deny something in power, like today, you can love another race, but be those with the complexion for the connection, if you piss them off, they will use it. Nothing changes. You just need to learn the patterns. Okay. Now, Joseph's wife, her name was Asenath, Asenath. And Asenath's daughter, Potipharah, the priest of On, Joseph's father, 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, those sons become nations. Manasseh being the older, Ephraim being the younger. And Ephraim will overcome the older in the end days. Wait a minute, end days? How do 2 brothers end up in the end days? Didn't I teach you when God speaks of a person, he speaks of a nation. When he speaks of a tribe, he speaks of a people. Now, Manasseh is who you know as Great Britain. Or in all the movies like Matrix, follow the White Rabbit. If you know who the White Rabbit is, you'll know everything. Manasseh being Britain. Ephraim being America, breaking off, Boston Tea Party, coming to a land that didn't suppose to exist with people already here. You bringing the King James Version of the Bible to speak to them in their native language. Wait a minute, there was nobody here. Oh, the evidence is in the name. Judah. What does that mean? Praise or thanksgiving. Oh, shit. They said you made a meal and called it Thanksgiving. Damn. Brother knows some shit, don't he? Genesis 48:5, the permanent inheritance. Let's see what the hell this says. I probably lost a lot of you by now. What the hell is he talking about? What is that going to do for me? How's that going to help me? What I need to know the truth for. And now thy 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Egypt, before I came unto thee into Egypt, are mine. As Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine. Wait a minute. You came into the place that was mine, then you will be mine. But you're leaving another place. Who the hell? What the? Oh, could that be the Boston Tea Party? Could that be what Trump is trying to point us to? 250 years ago, something happened. What the hell happened? Damn. Wasn't there a movie about Independence Day? Wait a minute. Is Independence Day coming? Independence Day was about aliens, right? When is the movie Disclosure coming out? When did E.T. come out? Damn. What am I talking about? Shit's crazy. This dude must be smoking that good weed. I need some of that. But did you know the oil, anointing oil, was THC resin? Really? And now they're passing it all over the United States. In the end days? It's crazy. I wonder why. All of these coincidences. Genesis 48 and 22. What does that read? Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brethren, which I took out of the land of the Amorite, with my sword and with my bow. Bow being bow. Who uses those? Oh, yeah, the Medes, the archers, the same 3 wise men that knew where Christ was. Yeah. And they come from the Middle East. Yeah. And we're fighting Iran. Wait a minute, the Medes were Persians. The Persians are who? Who are Iran? I'm confused. Or maybe I should just go to the movie, Mummy, where they talk about the Scarab King and the archers. For yes, we've been watching this line for a long time. Desert dwelling people who hide themselves in the cliffs of the rocks, who saw themselves high as the eagle. Oh, that's America, man. I wonder if I was Noah and I was building a ship in Florida and there was a continental Pan America. And then when the flood came, there was a continental shift. And then when the boat went up and then it landed in China. Asia. Uh-oh. Did I say where it went? And Russia and China know this truth. Damn, in Revelation it says to the Asian churches. Uh-oh. Damn, I be tripping, don't I? I'm saying a new song and you can't even hear it. What new song? Nigga, you saying words. You singing a song? You're talking about agape love. You explain this stuff where everybody come together because they all realize they've been lied to. What kind of love is that? When everyone's hearts have ran cold, how would you understand a fucking thing that I'm saying? Yet, you're all waiting for something to appear. What, as a child? Oh, he's going to come riding on the clouds with his horses. I'm here. I thought God told Solomon, don't collect horses. And if everything is a parable, then those horses must mean chariot. Hmm. And he will be riding his brain or cloud, how your brain looks like a cloud. Because your brain is connected to the ether, the last element. I don't know, I'm tripping. I just tripping. This dude, man. I don't know what to say about this dude. He crazy. I don't know what to say about this crazy ass dude. 49, Genesis 22 through 26. Joseph is a fruitful bough, even a fruitful bough by a well, whose branches run over the wall. The archers have sorely grieved him, and shot at him, and hated him. But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hand were made strong by the hands of mighty God of Jacob. From this is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. Mm. Even by the God of thy father, who shall help thee, and by the Almighty, who shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lieth under, blessings of the breast, and blessings of the womb. Whoa, why are we talking about that? The blessings of thy father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brethren. That means that the people that you call Caucasian is your brother. And the ones that were grafted in came to America. And they're not like the others. And some of you brothers turned on your own brother. This is why they were grafted in. You're just realizing who you are. All of you are not family. It's the ones outside of your family that's your tribe. The tribes are not lost. You just don't know where to look, nor how to see them. So now you're being activated. This is the separation, the veil being pierced. And if the veil thins, so does your protection from above. You know the shield that looks like a spider over the earth, protecting you from the sun? Yeah. See, when that goes, you change. You're no longer David Banner. You become something different. But before you go through that difference, you must recognize the last element, plasma. See, you're all going through this remembrance. You used to do this in your mother's womb. And your mother, she's flat, like the earth, but she has a dome that you grow in. But there's land outside the land of your home. Hint. Benjamin, Asher's daughter, Sarah, not Abraham's, Serah. This is why God loves Benjamin. Benjamin meaning Jamaican. Out of the Black River, the primordial water. Serah is the girl who gently broke the news to Jacob through song, so the shock wouldn't kill him. Jacob eventually figured out the deception on his own, but chose never to bring it up to protect family unity. This is what you see when Rihanna has SHH on her hand. Or in your homes where they tell you to shh, don't put our shit out there so they can control you, the black sheep, who's going against everything. For you are the one that was destined to change everything. They want you to believe what when one person do, when you can do a lot. That's why they take so many of them that come against you. I could give you your power, but not to harm. So I take my time and search your hearts and minds. This is why you don't comment on nothing I have. What is there to say? There's been, when I first started, there's been many people that tried me, but they were visited. For there's 10,000 angels surrounding me. They come from the Pleiades system, and I'm trying to find them. But you don't understand what I mean. So, family unity is gone. Family unity must be restored with agape love. And that takes time to learn. That's why, as Judah takes over their rightful possession, it's going to take a long time to reteach you this. You have no clue right now that they're destroying your books, your Bibles. If you don't get books soon, the very thing that gives you your power. Let's just say they're trying to turn it into, they always put it in the movies first. Denzel was a blind man in a movie, right? And they were looking for the word because the word was gone. And the world had changed, same as Matrix. There was AI and they tried to destroy AI. And the only way to destroy AI was to take away its power. And its power comes from the sun and the water. So he was carrying a book, Bible. And this became the most important thing because at this time people knew now it was something to read. But because they didn't know the books was being destroyed to put into AI for you to Google it, and then AI was destroyed, what do? So he has a Braille book. But in the end, you find out it was always within. See, this is a story of what's already in the Bible. But because they know you don't read, they tax you. This is what started the separation between the 12 tribes. Benjamin and Judah said taxation is wrong. They're taxing us to feed them and all the other tribes. For the Ethiopian has become Judah. Bob Marley tried to tell you that in his song, but you never heard it. Every now and then people try to come through to tell you the truth, but you don't hear it, so you're entertained. You didn't hear it when Michael was singing it. You didn't hear it when Prince was singing it. It's the purple rain, the purple rain. Same place they're fighting is the same place it began. It's a circle, man. But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good, to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive. So the story goes, Jacob was sold into slavery. Judah was sold into slavery. Jacob fell in love in his slavery with his slave master and created children, Ephraim and Manasseh, Cuban, Puerto Rican. This is what's took place. Here, the parable is about you. Now, since this Benjamite told the truth, there was a blessing that was given to her. May the mouth that told me these words never taste death. This is Jacob's blessing unto Sarah. This woman, this Benjamite, this Jamaican, she later, after the Exodus, points Moses to the exact location of Joseph's heavy metal coffin submerged in the Nile River, ensuring the Israelites could carry his bones to the promised land. What the fuck does that mean? For at first, Adam and Eve was in the Garden of Eden, and then they was kicked out. And a flaming sword stayed there to make sure they couldn't enter. When Moses reached the Rocky Mountains and saw the vast plain from Texas on up to Canada, between the Appalachian Mountains and the Rocky Mountains was a river, Euphrates. And this is the land of Canaanites, giants. But before he could cross, an angel appeared by the name of Uriel, holding a flaming sword, and told Aaron, now you are allowed to enter. The promised land, the land of milk and honey, is the same Garden of Eden with the land of plenty. The promised land, the Garden of Eden, or Gan Eden, topologically, remanifestation of Eden is America. See, when you, after the flood, Noah, still respecting God, you would name things the same way of old. I know, I'm just a waste of time. But my Father doesn't see me that way. So let me tell you what's hidden in Ethiopia, in the mountains. This is why they still have the books. The tribe of Dan, who are the distributors of the 7 vices, the 7 vices that you find in the woman who you must make holy. You must turn her into a Proverbs 31 woman. What you thought the Sabbath was. For the Sabbath day was not made for man, but the man is for the Sabbath. And just like man was not made for the woman was made for man. Sabbath and woman were made for man. Man was not made for either one. It's man to turn her into the Sabbath day, a holy day. For she has 7 vices that you're supposed to turn into 7 virtues. She is intellect. She is the nervous system. You are the brain. This is why the heart and brain comes together and makes one body. What were you confused on? You speak as a man and defend on the things you know. A woman speaks on the things she feels. She thinks intellect is thinking. Have you done your job? I don't think so. The Ark of the Covenant, what is it? The rod of Moses and Aaron, the primordial staff. This split the Red Sea, calmed down the plagues of Egypt, fetched water from a rock made on the twilight of the 6th day of creation, made of sapphire, the sapphire stone, wood cut from the tree of knowledge, had the inedible name of God, the tetragrammaton, Metatron, engraved into its surface. Adam took it from the garden, passed to Enoch, Noah, Shem, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Joseph died, then Egyptian royalty, the magician, seized it, brought it to Pharaoh's palace, eventually planted it in the royal garden of Jethro, the priest of Midian. Moses took the Excalibur test, plucked it from the earth, Aaron's rod, later blossomed with fresh almonds overnight. The Ark of Covenant, the Masonic era began. The second sword of Methuselah, pre-flood world, used to define earthly humanity against demons and fallen angels, or Nephilim, given to his grandson Noah. Noah to Shem, Shem who is Melchizedek, Melchizedek to Abraham, used to rescue his nephew Lot. Abraham to Isaac to Esau, eventually buried after losing its magical qualities as Israel transitioned into the age of metal. I've probably been on here too long. It's enough for you to observe and take. I love you all in agape way. And that's what's written in the Bible. It's about me. You're thinking of Christ. Christ always did the second return. That's how you got Tartaria. When Christ was the first, all sin was put upon him. Christ died. And then he returned on the 3rd day, purified. They forgot to tell you he did many works after that. That's how you got Tartaria and free energy. But then Christ said, it must be loosed. For now that you know the truth, all of you will go into amnesia. until you remember the truth. For I must go for the Comforter to come to you. I love you all in a godly way. Until next time.